I'm at Tokyo Game Show 2024, the biggest gaming convention in Japan. There are over 3,000 booths as well as more than 250,000 visitors here, and it definitely feels that way. I mean, there's so many people coming in all the time. The line wasn't even a line, it was just a blob of people. I'm gonna go through some of the biggest and most exciting booths as well as find some of the hidden gems amongst the hundreds of indie games that are available to play here. Let's go check it out. The first major company I ran into was the Capcom booth. They had a bit of emphasis on the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, but the main emphasis was on Monster Hunter Wilds. And for good reason. They had a giant booth dedicated to playing the demo. They had full displays of different characters in the game. And while I couldn't record any gameplay footage while I was there, the game looks beautiful and it's shaping up to be one of the best in the franchise. You can check out some gameplay footage from demos on YouTube. Monster Hunter Wilds comes out February 28th, 2025. Next, I went to the IKEA booth. Then I went to the Konami booth. Konami booth had two main focuses, one of which I think is probably the biggest reveal of the entire event, and that's Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. They had a giant section of the Konami booth dedicated just to this game. They had a jungle-themed area, and all the characters had life-size cardboard cutouts. This is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, and they just released a trailer for this game at Tokyo Game Show. The second big focus of the Konami booth was Silent Hill 2. This is another remake coming from Konami, and it has a release date of October 8th, and it's on PS5 and Steam. On to the Bandai Namco booth. They had a giant float dedicated to the Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero game. This is a continuation of the Budokai Tenkaichi game series. And I don't know about you, but for me, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was like one of the best games from my childhood. And I've heard the take that this game is derivative of that game and it's not like anything new. But listen, I don't care if it's new. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was fun. This game looks awesome. I can't wait to play it. So Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero will be coming out October 11th, just a week from now. The Sega Atlus booth had a lot to offer. First, we're going to talk about Sonic X Shadow Generations. This is a remake of the original Sonic Generations, but it has kind of a separate game attached based on Shadow the Hedgehog. Quick side note, there was a giant Shadow figure and a Tails and Knuckles mascot. The line to get photos with them was so long, and I just kept asking myself, like, what kind of person would wait that long to get a photo with grown men in mascot costumes? Seems crazy. Comes out October 23rd. The next game that Sega focused on was the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. This is a spin-off of the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. It's got the goofiness of a typical Yakuza game with a pirate spin and real-time combat. This game comes out February 28th, 2025. And finally, the big daddy of the Sega booth, Metaphor ReFantazio. This is a game I'm planning to spend hundreds of hours playing. They had giant floats for this. They had a monk that was chanting, and it was weird, but it was awesome. I've heard it called High Fantasy Persona, which sounds awesome to me, except it looks like it's a combination of real-time combat as well as turn-based combat. The demo's already out now. This game comes out on October 11th, and I'm pumped to play it. Going to the Square Enix booth in Tokyo Game Show is a dream I didn't know I had. There was so much Final Fantasy Dragon Quest art. They had a bunch of stuff dedicated to Final Fantasy XIV, of course. But the main focus, I would say, for Square Enix was their Dragon Quest III 2D HD remaster. That's a mouthful. There are a lot of these 2D HD remastered type games, and they all look really pretty and really nice. So, you know, I'm sure this is a huge thing for the Dragon Quest community. Me personally, I'm not super excited about it. I'm probably not going to play. That game comes out November 14th. But a game that I will play that I'm pretty excited about, it's called Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven. And this game looks awesome. I didn't play the original game, but it looks really fun. And that comes out October 24th. So probably right off the tails of me playing Metaphor ReFantazio. So that's what's going on with all the big developers, but there's an entirely separate hall that has 80 chosen indie developers, and on top of that, this conference also has booths set up for a bunch of different countries to represent their game studios. Walking through the booths of all these different countries was really inspiring. Meeting all these different developers from around the world with the same kind of passion with their own cultural spin on it. It reinforced what I'm doing with this channel and traveling and seeing different gaming cultures and experiencing gaming in a different way. All right, let's go check out some of the smaller titles and see if we can't find any banger games, any bomb games, any great games. After lunch, I'm gonna go find some authentic Japanese food at the food truck options. You know, I might just eat a hot dog, actually. You know, walking out here to get lunch, I saw that there was a YouTube creator space for YouTube creators to go in and make content. I was just a few subscribers short. You know, it requires 30,000. I was just a few 29,000 subscribers short from being able to enter there, but maybe next year, with your help, I'll be able to get there. All right, let's go explore some indie games. There were so many games. I can't even tell you how many games I played, and I definitely can't name all the ones I enjoyed, but I will highlight some that I thought were particularly fun and exciting. First, let's talk about the ones that you can play now or that are coming out pretty soon, and then I'll do some honorable mentions of some games that don't have release dates yet, but should definitely be on your radar. The first game I'm going to talk about is called Gori, Cuddly, Carnage. It came out in August, and it is a cyberpunk horror combat gory goofy game. You play as a cat on a skateboard, and you destroy unicorns in gory ways. This game has a demo on every platform. It has an overwhelmingly positive review on Steam. Definitely check out Gori, Cuddly, Carnage. Give it a try. The next game I want to highlight is called Sea Fantasy. This is a JRPG based in the realm of fishing. Pretty charming, pretty relaxing, but it also has a fun gameplay loop, and it has all the JRPG characteristics. You can upgrade your equipment, you can catch bigger fish, and the art style is really charming. This game is supposed to come out in February 2025, but it already has a free demo you can play. The next game I'm super excited about, specifically to play with my friends. It's called Pip Puzzle. It has some Pokemon Puzzle League vibes if you ever played that game. It's kind of like a Tetris attack action puzzle game where you can choose your character, but each character has its own individual skills and art style. So you compete and you essentially try to stack up your opponent's puzzle to the top without. I played a few rounds with one of the developers of the game and I lost, but I intend to become the best in the world at this game. If you want to challenge me in this game when it comes out, let me know. Pip Puzzle, the demo's coming soon and the full game is coming soon after that. The next game is Keylocker. This is a cyberpunk turn-based RPG with a beautiful art direction, great soundtrack, and the dialogue is great. In the 15 minutes I played this game at the convention, I laughed several times at the dialogue. It's just pretty funny, well-written. The game definitely deserves a try. It has a demo available as well as the game is already fully released. It was released in September, so check out Keylocker if that sounds interesting to you. IfSunSets is a survival game with a pirate theme. And if you know me, you know I love me some pirates. The visuals are actually gorgeous for this game, and I found the movement wasn't clunky, which is kind of the standard for survival games at this point, it feels like. And it's a day-night cycle. With the daytime you spend building and gathering resources, but the nighttime there are hundreds of different monsters that might attack and you have to protect what you've built. When I was playing the demo, the combat felt pretty solid. That's called IfSunSets, demo is available, and it's supposed to have a release date in October. Hotel Galactic is a cozy game where you build and customize a hotel and you hire staff and you house guests. In the short bit I played, it felt like customization was almost limitless. It has a beautiful art style that's kind of reminiscent of Spiritfarer, but I would say compared to Spiritfarer, it feels like the game really focused in on some of those core mechanics. If you're into cozy games, for sure Hotel Galactic is one that I would suggest wishlisting on Steam. Nightmare Circus is a game in early development, but it felt like it had a pretty fun and unique combat system. So you play as this puppet and you have the ability to use your strings and your sticks to wrap up your enemy. It's a collision-based combat system where you can both collide with your enemies or make your enemies collide with each other. I was told by one of the developers that this game is going to be about an 8 to 10 hour runtime if you play straight through, and that seems like quite a bit. It's going to be a story-based action adventure that I can't wait to play when it does come out. This is a game called Drifted. The way I would describe it is it's a relaxing platform where you play as a paper airplane. And while I think the gameplay mechanics are very simple, I think that it shows that the solo developer that made this has a background in cinema. The way they build tension feels almost cinematic in this game, and I'm excited to see what the full playthrough looks like, because I only got about a 5-minute playthrough at the convention. Anyway, that's Drifted, coming out in late 2025, possibly 2026. Something to keep your eye out for, though. The last game I'm going to talk about is called Banshee Demon Girl. This is a Souls-like action RPG where you play as a woman who's a demon seeking revenge. It has all the aspects of a Souls-like game that you'd expect, but it felt a little bit more fluid than a typical Souls-like. It felt like you had a little bit more movement at your fingertips, which made the game feel like it flows in a way that Souls-like games don't typically flow. I was really impressed by the graphics in this game, and also I asked the developers what the story of the game was. I mean, it was pretty interesting. I don't want to tell you because it might give something away or I might get something wrong, but definitely an interesting story. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the full game, which is supposed to come out in September of 2025. There's so many more games that I played that I don't have time to talk about, and even more games that I didn't even get to play. So if you attended Tokyo Game Show or you know a game that was in Tokyo Game Show that I didn't cover, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about more games. That's it for Tokyo Game Show. Thanks for watching. My name is Terrence. I'm going to keep playing games till I find the perfect one. Peace. Lurv.